What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Koby Sneaks. Today we're looking at the brand new Nike and a Cold Wall Air Force One Low in the white and gray colorway. Here we go. Alright, so Nike and Samuel Ross, who is the founder of A Cold Wall, they collaborated once again on this brand new Air Force One Low, which comes after the Air Force One High they brought out last year. Now, these ones had an original release date of December the 21st in a more selective release, but today in North America, US, and Canada, there was a more widespread release, January the 10th, for a price of $190 US, or up here in Canada, $255 Canadian. Now, before I even show you the shoe, A Cold Wall is meant to be a brand that kind of fuses streetwear and high-class British fashion. So kind of like that luxury fashion and that streetwear vibe in one brand together, and that is very well communicated or developed into this Air Force One Low. So without further ado, let's open this box and see what these shoes look like. And here is the shoe. Now, in my opinion, these shoes have three distinct things about them that make them very special compared to regular Air Force Ones, but let's start with the upper of these shoes. The upper of the Air Force One is comprised of a leather that Nike and A Cold Wall are calling fly leather. Now, fly leather is composed of 50% recycled material or recycled leather fibers that are put into a more composite leather material, which you can kind of feel and smell if you're comparing them side by side with real leather, but it does look very real. It looks very authentic, a bit smoother than actual leather, a bit less of a texture, but overall a very nice look and feel. Now, the idea with this recycled leather is that it is more sustainable. So Samuel Ross, the founder of A Cold Wall, has a story he tells where when he used to release shoes in the early days of A Cold Wall, it would only be released through a few stockists and not like a massive widespread release. But now that A Cold Wall is a worldwide renowned brand, he is manufacturing shoes in the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands, meaning that he wants to be a source of sustainability for the future of sneakers and for the planet as a whole. And his way of doing that is making this Air Force One out of this recycled material leather. So the white recycled fly leather material is met halfway on the shoe with this gray suede, this contrasting gray suede, which is very soft to the touch, which also goes around the lace portion and part of the front. And then the heel of the shoes feature a Nike Air branding in a black embroidered finish. And on the outer portion of the shoes, we do have the A Cold Wall bracket logo in a black printed on design. One important thing to note about the upper is that unlike the regular Air Force Ones, this entire upper is a seamless upper, meaning that all the leather panels are kind of glued together underneath with a supporting piece of material, whereas on the regular Air Force Ones, you just have the stitching that connects each panel to the next. This, of course, adds to that minimal, high-fashion design of the shoe. Now, the second most important thing about these shoes here is that they completely removed the swoosh. Now, unlike common Air Force Ones where you have that leather swoosh literally put right on top of the leather upper, they just got rid of the whole swoosh altogether and instead put these little perforations in the actual leather itself, which I think is a very minimal touch, again, kind of alluding to that high-class British fashion that A Cold Wall has attributed with a lot of its fashion pieces. This was a great way for A Cold Wall to fuse the classic Nike silhouette and design with that A Cold Wall true British fashion influence. And then quite possibly the most notable thing about these shoes is the lacing system. Now, the lacing system is done in this very, very minimal X pattern, only having lacing holes at the bottom where you have the traditional Air Force One tag, and then at the top where you would typically tie the shoes. They are met in the middle on the tongue with a crossover X. And then that traditional Air Force One tag that you see on the laces of regular Air Force Ones is actually made of a semi-clear and very glossy white plastic with the A Cold Wall bracket logo instead of the Air Force One logo that you would traditionally see on the Nike Air Force One. And then that tongue is comprised of a gray mesh material with, once again, that A Cold Wall and bracket black branding on the top. The midsole and outsole of these shoes are very classic to regular Air Force Ones, except there is a bit of a contrast in color on the outsole. The outsole is a more of a cream finish, while the midsole is a pure white. But both the midsole and the outsole have a bit of a speckle design, and I think that, I don't know if it actually is part of the recycled materials, but I think it is kind of giving that illusion or that optic of it being a recycled material shoe, a very sustainable shoe, kind of like how you would see on a bamboo plate that has been recycled. It has that little pebbly texture to it. And then finally, the insole of the shoe just says a cold wall with the asterisk and then presented by Samuel Ross, all written in black and then screen printed onto the white insole. But besides all that, these are a classic Air Force One silhouette, just with a bit more minimal detailing and minimal designs added to it to make it very distinct and very a cold wall. Now, unfortunately, these are not my size. I will be giving these to a friend, so I do not want to stretch them and try them on, so I cannot give you an on-feet look this time around, but these are a definite Koby Cop for me. The only issue I have with these shoes is that they are kind of pricey compared to regular Air Force Ones. I know regular AF ones go for $90, or up here in Canada, $120, but these are $190 US, or like I said up here in Canada, $255 for virtually the same shoe. Now, I will say, I imagine that the leather, the fly leather, is more expensive to produce than the regular leather that they use in the regular Air Force Ones, but if you are willing to drop that much more on a pair of Air Force Ones, these are a definite Koby Cop. So, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys like this video, you're probably going to like my other stuff, so please do not forget to subscribe and like this video down below. I would love to hear in the comments what you want to see me review next, and what you want to see me talk about more, and what you want to see me talk about less. But until then, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.